Okay, so we're going to be doing a very basic form in React where we have a form, we have Captcha, we submit the Captcha, motorcycles, right? And then we send the form and something is displayed, which is like, thank you for joining or whatever, right? And then this will send an email to your form with some information in it, right? So you see we got the email. Now we're going to be using Formspree. It's a lot easier. Generally, it's just much easier to use it, okay? So set up an account for Formspree if you don't have one. And let's get started then. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have the full code linked in the description below, so you can just, if you just want the code, you can see it. Okay, so let's get started then, right? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to import script from Next.js, right? Import script from Next script, I think like this, right? Now this is needed because you cannot use the script tags, the usual script tags in the wherever you call this in Next applications, right? You can, but it's gonna give you a warning and then you won't be able to deploy. So you need to use a script tag. And then our script tag will be like the usual source, whatever goes in here, right? So the next thing we need to do, we need to go and create a Google Captcha thingy, right? So we go to Google Captcha admin, right? So it's like Google Captcha admin, Google it. It will bring you to this we're gonna create a new one, right? Let's just call it YouTube. All right. We're gonna use version 2. I'm not a robot checkbox. All right. Domain, if you're doing it on your local host, just type in localhost. Accept the captcha. Submit. Right. Now this will give you the key. Now if you click in here, this will give you the API. You just need the source. You see this part here. Okay, so we need to copy this and stick it into in here. So this is the first part done. Now I'm doing my notes at the same time. So, all right. So this is this part done. Next, we need to create a index, right? I'm gonna be using a wait, some kind of confusion. So this should be home page, right? Okay, so now everything is working. That's okay. So you can do it in this component, right? You can do it if you click on index. You can do it in here. But what I did was I created a component homepage and then I imported the component homepage into the index, right? So I just like to do it that way. I don't know why. It's just my personal preference, right? I don't like to build massive components in the pages, but it's up to you, all right? There is no strict rule. Do whatever the hell you want, right? So in the components is where we're gonna write our form. Yeah, make sure you have use effect and state. We're probably not gonna use effect in here. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, we need to install this thing here. It's called React Google Captcha. Where is it? React Google Captcha. So we need this thing here installed, right? So copy the thingy, stop your server, install, wait for it to install, check that it's there in your React Google Captcha, right? Now also you need to install Formspree React, right? The way to do that is you need to go to, let me just make a note that one second. Okay, I realized we're just gonna build the form first. All right, so the form is gonna be form, oh, whoops, just do Formspree React, okay? You need this. You need to install this, all right? So that's what we're gonna install right now. Okay, so once this is installed, we need to go to Formspree. Just your account, Formspree, right? Formspree.io. We're gonna sign in real quick. I'm gonna delete that later. So we're gonna create new form, call it YouTube, wherever, right? Doesn't matter. Now in here, very important, make sure you do not, I repeat, do not enable Captcha, because in the whatever description is gonna tell you to activate Captcha. Do not do that because we are manually creating the Captcha, right? I tried to go through their version of Captcha. It was just disgusting. I was like, no. There has to be an easier way to do that. All right, so the next thing, we need to import this form. So let's go. So we need this part, right? This part goes here. Contact form we don't need. We need this part for sure. This is our state management, I think, right? Now I'm gonna put ... in here so it doesn't submit, because if it submits, it's gonna start racking up your whatever the name is, your usage limit. There's like 50 per month, and I'm already on 30, so I don't want to submit more. But you'll see the way it works. It's no problem. Okay, so we have this. Now we need the actual form as well. Everything in the form we put in here. Okay, so now if we run the server, npm run dev, right? I'm just making my own notes. All right, so we're gonna have this form in here. All right, so we're gonna type, right? Whatever at k, right? It's going to give us an error because it cannot connect to, but that's okay. We have the initial form. All right. So now, now we need to add the captcha. All right. So now we need to add the captcha. So now we're gonna do the installation of the of this thing. React Google Captcha. Just Google this. And we're gonna find it. We're gonna install it naturally. So now it's installed. We're gonna go npm run dev. So we start the server. Okay, so this form is actually quite simple, right? So the first thing we need to do is we need to import this code here. So we need to put, yeah, you see this import captcha, blah, 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 into here. All right. Yeah, so we've done that. Okay, so what does it actually do? So the next thing we need to do is we need to take this here and post it where you want your captcha to appear. So let's put it right before the submit button. So now we need your client key, right? So this is something you can find on your Google site. Where's our Google captcha? Yeah, so you see copy site key. Click this, paste in here. So the next thing we can do, we need to create on change function, right? Now you can call this anything you want. I will call this handle change, right? So next we need to create the handle change function. So we write const handle change equals like this. Now I like to use arrow functions, right? If you don't like arrow functions, you can use function handle change argument and then whatever, right? So now there's gonna be an invisible argument, all right? Now it's not visible in here, but it exists. And that's gonna, I don't know, I think that it's called token or something like that, right? So that token will change when captcha is completed. So we need to assign some kind of name to this token or whatever. You can call it shake and bake token X, Y, whatever you want. I'll call it shake and bake, right? Just to demonstrate that you can call this anything you want, right? And then we're gonna console log the name of the argument. So this way you will see that it's going to change once we complete the captcha. Okay. So even without this code, the captcha, no, yeah. Okay. So you see, now we have our captcha in here. So you see when you click, so right now argument in shake and bake is a empty string. All right, it's an empty string. So once you complete the captcha, it becomes this like weird, gigantic, yeah, you see, it becomes this gigantic string of whatever, right? Now, because you know that this shake and bake or whatever argument in here is an empty string, you can do conditions. So for example, like if shake and bake equals like this, right? Or you can say if shake and bake dot length equals 0, do something, right? Else do something else. I'm just telling you that you can do that, but I mean, I'm not going to do that in this example, all right? So now that shake and bake has been changed, right? Now pretty much you're done, like, right? You're pretty much done. Now the only one thing is, because we're not using Formspree captcha built in, right? It is actually possible to submit the form without doing the captcha, because Formspree is just going to send it anyway, right? So the way I overcame this challenge is you create a state, right? Um, const, we call this captcha done, set captcha done, use state false, all right? And then we simply, right? So this button right now is submit. All right. So this button is submit. So what we do is we go like this. We set up a condition. If captcha is done, right? If captcha is done, we're gonna show this button, and let's call this submit to Formspree. All right. Now, if it's not done, we're gonna display a different button, and the type is going to be button, so that they cannot submit the form. Right now, there is a way to do it more complex, but I mean, this is so simple. I like simple things. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to complicate. There is a way to prevent default if the captcha is not like I see some people doing this mumbo jumbo shit. I'm like, dude, like it's much simpler than this, right? Type button, right? And then on click, we're simply gonna do like this. Alert, please do captcha. Now you can run a function in here, you can do whatever the hell you want. But the idea is please do captcha, right? It's complaining about something. Hold on a sec. Oh yeah, I forgot to put this thing in here. Like so. Okay. So you see now we have two buttons, right? We have one button that will do please do captcha, so it's impossible to submit the form without doing the captcha, right? So once you do the captcha, obviously, whatever bridges, blah, 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 I'm not going to do that right now, right? Now we need to, once the captcha is done, remember this function fires, right? Once the captcha is done, HandleSubmit activates. So when HandleSubmit activates, we can change the state. So in here, we can set captcha to true. And then the other, so once the user completes the captcha, the button swaps, right? Now you will visually see it because it's demonstration purposes, right? So let's do crosswalks, right? I think that's about it. Submit the form to Formspree. Do you see it changed? So it swapped from please do the captcha, impossible to submit, to submit to Formspree. Traffic lights, right? Bicycle. You see, submit to Formspree. Now, of course, this is visible, right? But I mean, if you're going to be doing it in proper environment, you just call both of them submit and have the same formatting. So it will be impossible to tell the difference. Do you know what I'm saying? So now it's submit, right? Although it looks the same, it's actually a completely different button, like I demonstrated, right? So we click on submit, it says, please do the captcha, whatever, it gives a notification. Now we do the captcha. Let's do the motorcycles, right? Now, boom, you see, handle change function fired, it changed. So now this is a different button, but it looks the same, all right? So I'm saying, and you're pretty much done, that's it, right? So now I'll show you that it's going to work by, we're gonna change use the form, like so. We're gonna refresh, use this email, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a robot. Bridges, submit, and thank you for joining. And now we should have our email, right? Yeah, there you go, you see? Now we have our email. So it's right now, has been submitted right now. And that's it, you're done. Now, I'm gonna tell you about one bug. I don't know why that happens, but sometimes it happens. You, I don't know, have a cup of coffee, you come back, you click I'm not a robot, and then this thing, the challenge, does not appear. I actually don't know why that happens, right? I noticed on some websites it also happens, right? Now, the only thing I can tell you is the only way I was able to fix it was I just console log shake and bake. You see, I just console log this argument and it starts working. For some reason, when you don't console log it, it's like it sometimes doesn't work. So just console log it, right? So that the error does not appear. All right. I'm just saying that I don't know why that is. You can try to do it without it. If it works, it's fine. But I'm telling you, one time it happened to me, and I could not understand what was the difference. So I just console logged it, and it started working. So I don't know, right? And that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's the tutorial. If you have any questions, link in the description below. Everything is in there. You know the drill. Blah blah blah. Like and subscribe. Take care.